I installed a console from a 2017 Ram in my 2004. Did quite a bit of work to get an aesthetic result that's uniquely suited for my vehicle. So here's a look at the finish. The Coca-Cola can fits perfectly in these cup holders. Even my big water bottle fits up here in these. I normally just keep it in the other ones though because it's a little tall. And yes, I do still have my underseat storage. So looking online right now at the prices for these consoles, they're still pretty high. They were higher a couple months ago when I was looking, but I'll show you some of these and then I'll tell you what I did. You're going right here on eBay right now, you're still looking at between $300 and $400, and some of them are a little beat up, some of them are good, but $225 for just a lid right there. I think that's a little high, and $355, and then $350 plus $48, $400, and that's just the upper part. Right here you get $495 plus $75, which is over $500. Anyway, so I just went to the junkyard and picked one up for $35. And then I took off the cover, which was a mixture of gray cloth and leather. And at that point, I disassembled the pieces so I could get myself some nice little templates out of the original pieces. Using some black leather I got from Tandy Leather, I then traced the templates onto the black leather. I punched every hole exactly as it was in the gray piece so that every single stitch would line up and I wouldn't have any issues with fitment afterwards. So here's how it looked. It's pretty dang hard to see the holes, but that's what I was working with, and definitely made it a little more challenging using black thread on black leather. The old DVD player. Most of the stitching was just a simple saddle stitch, so I just did that for hours and hours. And then there was some of them that were like the double saddle stitch. I'm not sure what that's called, but oh well. And so here's me unfolding it, and that's the essence of the work. On the sides you have to use felt, because if you use leather it'll get worn from the plastic on the sides when you lift up the seat. So I just used felt also from the junkyard. I just pulled them from the bottom of the jump seat so it had the perfect OEM look because it matched the original felt. So here's a close-up of the stitching. You can see it's pretty darn good. There's some spots where you can see it's pulled a little tighter every other stitch just because of the way I did it, but it's pretty hard to tell unless you look really closely that it's ever been done by hand, which is good work. So to install it, you just move your seats forward and then you go around to the back and just pop open this little piece of felt down here. It's just a little clip. And then in the middle, you're going to have a little Velcro just holding those pieces together. And when you pull that out, it'll expose on either side the 2 bolts that are holding it in. So this whole thing, really easy install. It's just 4 bolts total, and they're going to be 13 millimeter. Underneath of here is the wire harness, and in the original you just have the 2 plugs just for that 12 volt outlet, and these other 2 right here are for the USB and the aux, which we're not going to use because it works with the 4th gen media system. So I just took that one and just cut it off, did a little bit of wire work, no problem, connected those. And then here's where you run the wire. If you wanted to take this off, you can open this up, it'll make it a little easier. You don't have to, you can kind of worm it in there, but if you do take that off, they're going to be 45 Torx. Here's a side-by-side comparison of both consoles. And here are a bunch of measurements if anybody cares for them. As you can see, you do lose a little bit of arm space, but it's worth the trade-off. The length is reduced to about 15.5 inches versus it was 18.5 long on the old console. So you lose about 3.5 inches, but you gain cup holders, so it's worth it. And here are the inside measurements if anybody was concerned about losing space in their console. There you go. For me, the space makes basically no difference. All I keep in here is some spare change, some straws and forks, some pencil, marker, pen, and just some chargers and napkins. Nothing major. I don't think anybody really does, but hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it helped you get an idea of what this would look like to install, and thanks for watching.